Hi, this is Lori from LoriThayer.com with the Week in Review from June 19th to the 26th, 2015. And in this Week in Review, we're going to talk a lot about some travel, some of my favorite travel apps, and, well, travel websites really, how to find a good place to stay, and coordinating a group for travel, as well as a few apps and books and assorted other things. So first off, the end of last week I was just returning from a trip and I had a couple days to turn around to kind of do laundry, unpack, repack before we headed out again on Monday to come up to beautiful Keystone, Colorado, which is where I am, for an education conference that my husband is attending. He's a teacher. So we are up here for that conference, and I have been working remotely during the day and enjoying the beautiful sights and sounds here. But let's start with that Sunday, the 20th, it was the 21st, sorry, was Father's Day. So for us, for Father's Day, we ended up going to Brett's dad's house to spend some time with them, taking the boys with us. And then we came home, and the previous day we had stopped at Costco and gotten some ribs and stuff because what Brett wanted for Father's Day was to grill for all of us because that makes him happy. So I'll include a picture of that. He made us ribs and corn, and it was great. So it was a really nice Father's Day for everybody. And we'll get through the apps and the books real quick, and then we'll talk for a little while about travel stuff. So apps I've been checking out, I was just kind of searching around for word stuff. I like word games, and I think maybe I was in the airport or something and I wanted something to play with. And I found this very simple one called 7 Words. So you take it takes different syllables and you're trying to determine what the words are, and there are clues. So I've been kind of playing with that. I'll include the link. It's a little different than everything else. What I am liking a lot about it, besides that it's word-based, is that it doesn't have all the stuff they're doing in all the other games to keep you so hooked. So you have to check in, every hour or every day to get this or that. And I get a little tired of all that manipulation. So I get sucked into those occasionally, but for me, it usually only lasts 1 to 3 months, and then I'm like, I am over this. And so when I was looking for a game, I wanted something that didn't have that, and so 7 Words is like that. Another one I've been playing with is Google Play, so that's an app, a website. I'm doing a trial, a 1-month subscription of that, and I've used, probably not all of them, but a lot of them, Spotify, Pandora, now Google Play, iTunes, Match, and Amazon. I'm a Prime member. So I'm just kind of still playing to see if there's one that I want to pay for. I mean, we pay for Pandora, but my husband uses it probably more than anybody else. And I do like the on-demand option of music and creating my own playlist, which, you can't do in Pandora. So I kind of want another option. I also like that Google Play supports uploading some of your own songs and playlists too, as does iTunes Match, but I've had some problems with that. I listen to a lot of audiobooks and podcasts, different material, and if you use Match, there's kind of a problem with syncing those from your hard drive and then also using Match, and it's just a pain. They'll probably fix it at one point, but I get frustrated with that. I've used it a couple times, and I tend to turn it off and stop using it, so clearly it's not a winner in my book. And Amazon is kind of limited. So I'm trying out Google Play. We'll see. I really like Spotify. But as I mentioned in another one, they made a mistake. I don't know what happened and quit charging me. They said they couldn't renew my subscription. So they canceled my Spotify Prime, whatever it is, and Pro. So I'm just trying to find other things and not use it. So if you have favorites, let me know what your favorite is. Google Play, Amazon, Pandora. What's your favorite? Why is it your favorite? I'd love to hear. Or if there's some other one I'm missing. Oh, the other app that I got recently was Heal Your Body from A to Z by Louise Hay. Now I have the little book. It's a small thin book for this. It's been around for ages. It's really great. This book is a great tool for me in practicing faster EFT and being a practitioner. But when I was going to Oklahoma for training last week, I wanted to cut down on the books and the things I had to bring. So I'm like, oh, I can get that out for not very much and I'm not gonna recall. It's either like $2.99 or $6.99, I think. So I was like, I'm gonna do that. It makes my life easier. I'll always have it with me on the phone. So that's been good. And along with that, in the book category, I also purchased a Kindle version of the book Secret Language of Your Body. This is another one I use for faster EFT to kind of see, what does the body usually say, for a back pain or, neck pain, and that kind of helps. It can help in aiming in faster EFT. Those are great resources, the Louise Hay book and the Secret Language of Your Body. So again, that's a much bigger book, and it was great to not have to bring that to Oklahoma City with me. So I always have it now, and I have a Kindle, but I put the book on my app on my phone so that it was just a little easier to navigate, because I knew I'd have to be going to the index a lot and back and forth, and I don't know. It probably worked just as well on the Kindle, physical Kindle, but I just figured for something like that I usually use the app on my iPhone. The other book thing, I actually found a book that I reported to as a loss to the library, Denver Public Library. I'm a huge library user, love the library. And I had checked this book out, 9, 10, 11 months ago, and they were like, you didn't turn in, and I couldn't find it, so I'm like, you guys lost it, because usually that's what happens. This happens every once in a while to me, because I usually have about 30 items checked out from the library at any given time, so it's really hard to specifically keep track, and when I return, a big stack of books. So I had them do a search, and then they came back, they're like, we can't find it, and it's kind of been sitting there, and I've been waiting to see, you gonna charge me then, or what? But in Oklahoma, I was unpacking my suitcase, and I'm like, what is still in here? And it was that book. So clearly I had taken it with me to Faster EFT Level 1 training in October and didn't find it again until June. So good job me. But it's great to have found it now. I'm actually reading it right now, and then I'll return it to the library and see how much they want to charge me. Okay, so let's talk about some fun travel stuff. For this trip up in Keystone, my husband's going to the education conference. We coordinated with a bunch of other teachers from his school to get a condo together, and I did that research and work because I like researching stuff, and I don't know, fairly good at it, can find good stuff. So what I did was went out to VRBO and Airbnb and looked for options. It's like, okay, how many people do we have? What do we need? Good Wi-Fi was very important for me because I needed to be able to work from the unit. And so it's like, what are our needs? What are our wants? And look, and what's a good price? Teachers, you want a good price between all of us sharing, and what's the bed situation so everybody can kind of have their own space. People are going to have to share some rooms, but could they at least have their own bed, not have to share beds, and what could we do? So I did a lot of work on that, and then coordinated, booked it. Now the downside to that, I guess, with a group is you have to pay when you make the reservation. So it's like, okay, we've got 8 people staying, 2 are my husband and I, and then the other 6 I need a payment from. And it worked out, we're staying 3 nights, and it was $110 for the whole stay, a person. So it was a fabulous deal. But it's like, okay, how am I going to get payment for this when I'm already having to pay the cash up front? So what I did is asked everybody to pay via PayPal, and I gave instructions and screenshots and how do you do this so that you could pay without PayPal charging you. So the downside to that was not everybody had a PayPal account. And I told them if they wanted to send me their email, I could send them a money request. I didn't have anybody do that though. So a couple people paid via PayPal. One of them sent a check, which I ended up sending our address later. And then 2 of the remaining are paying out of school money. It's the principal and assistant principal for my husband's school. And so since they have to do like, I don't know, requisition, and I still haven't gotten payment for them. I'm sure I will soon. I'm not worried about it. But so that's kind of the hassle, the coordination of that. It is what it is. You kind of live and learn. Definitely sending the request, I think, would be easiest, because I don't think people don't need a PayPal account. They can just use a credit card for that. They're probably going to end up paying the fee, or you're going to get hit with the fee, but it might just make that coordination a little easier. But at the time I was setting up, I didn't have everybody's email address because I only knew two of the other people staying in the unit, so that didn't work that well for me in the coordination. But so we worked pretty well. They're using this new VRBO app, and that ended up being a little confusing because I thought I had the instructions for the unit outside of the app, and I didn't see them. I didn't realize where or how they worked in the app right away. So yeah, some things to work out. What made this unit odd is that you had to register and like for check-in somewhere other than the unit, and they had two different locations for where you could go to register, and it ended up when we came up to register they sent us to a third place, so we ended up going 3 places. I was not a happy girl, but it all worked out in the end. I finally figured out where the actual unit address was, but it was a little confusing, and especially for a coordination perspective, because I had absolutely given people the wrong information because I was confused. But you know, the app's okay. I haven't really used it a lot. It's like Away From Home or something like that is the name of it, and you can send invite people to your rental, and I told people that on our email list, but nobody else asked me to share that information, so I'm the only one who used it. What was good, even though the check-in was difficult, is that it's like Keystone, the resort, is kind of like handling all the service and stuff for this unit that I'm at. And the hot tub here, which is, it's great. It has a little area for a hot tub out on the porch, on the deck. And it wasn't very hot. It was kind of lukewarm, like 98 degrees. So the next day I called and they came over, they did that. I told them like 3 other things that I had seen in the unit that needed to be fixed because they were there. And so he worked on that. He checked in on me if the hot tub heated up, and it did some, but not a lot. So then he came back again and fixed it, and we got to a really perfect hot tub temperature. But so they have been great. You know, I was able to use them to find out the Wi-Fi password because it's supposed to be in the unit and I couldn't find it. And so the service help were great. They're available 24/7. So that was really nice. Kind of unexpected because usually using VRBO and Airbnb, I like more private places where you're actually dealing with, you know, the family, the owners. So it ended up being a little different, but it actually worked out really well for us in the end. So yeah, I'll include the information, the links to Airbnb and VRBO and our unit. So if you want to come up in Keystone, you can check this out. We are right at the base of the Mountain House lifts ski area, and it's really nice. I mean, it's summer, so there's not a ton going on around here except for some construction that you can hear, but it is gorgeous and it's quiet and I really like it. So it's been really fun staying up here. So that is my week in review. What have you been up to? I would love to hear about it in the comments. So leave me a note. Tell me what's going on with you.